Hi, welcome to another episode of Somerville Gives Back. I'm your host, Nancy Bacci. With me today is Rebecca Gallo and Yvette Taylor from Hearty Meals for All. Thank you ladies so much for coming on this morning and sharing some information about the important work that you do.
Thanks for having us.
That's great. So I've done a little bit of looking on your website about Hearty Meals for All, and sounds like a wonderful organization that I'm hoping you can start off by telling us how it was formed and more information about the work that you're doing.
Sure. So we started 2 years ago. Myself and my colleague Emily Bowen and I, both social workers who were living in Somerville at the time, and both really interested in local food and also increasing access to local food for folks who don't normally sort of get really good, wholesome food, with the idea being that everyone deserves to eat real food.
Very important idea.
Yeah. So we actually sent letters to every religious organization in Somerville and got a letter back, actually a phone call at 6 a.m. from the pastor of the church at the Somerville Community Baptist Church, Vic Scalisi, who was super interested. We met with him. He was an amazing guy, and that's how it started. So we used the space in the church, and they've been absolutely wonderful. They provide volunteers, the space for free. It's been a great experience. They have an amazing kitchen, dining room space that we can use.
Excellent.
So we started our first meal 2 years ago, and very quickly we realized we needed help with the cooking piece. So we brought on Yvette, who's our executive chef, and she runs all the meal prep and the menu design and that piece of it.
Excellent. So you really just saw something that you felt was an issue happening within the community and really formed a nice action plan and a business in order to start to address that particular need.
We did, and it's really kind of grown from there. It's been really fun. We have about 45 to 50 core folks, core guests who come every month. We serve the second Friday of every month at 6 o'clock, and we've just really created a great core group of folks. We use a lot of local food, local businesses, like Dave's Fresh Pasta donates, When Pigs Fly Bread donates. We have some connections with local farms that maybe Yvette can talk a little more about later in terms of the meat, but New Beginnings Farm has been a huge donor, Double J Farm out in Western Mass. Food for Free has been amazing, getting us produce.
Excellent. So in a few moments we're going to see a clip that we have of going down there and actually filming the meal preparation and seeing how all of it happens. But before that, so it says, you know, you require a lot of staff to have this happen, I imagine, because you're preparing meals for a large number of people. So who do you have staffing it, and how did you get them involved besides yourself and yourself?
So we're all volunteer run, so no one gets paid, no one's on staff. We all sort of have day jobs and do this on the side. So Yvette and Emily and I, and then we just added a new actually intern, Elizabeth Espin, recently, who's been amazing, helping us do outreach and that sort of thing. So we're sort of the core group, but then we have a really great group of amazing volunteers. A few folks from the church. Sandy Gale is one of the major sort of leaders at the church, and there's definitely a great core group there. And then some other just folks from the community who come up, help out and volunteer. So we definitely always need help. We prep Thursday night and then serving the meal Friday night.
Excellent. So that's what we were able to film, was the prep Thursday night. So are you interested in seeing how the prep happened when you weren't around for that particular time?
Absolutely.
Let's go to the clip. Hi, I'm here with Rebecca, Richard, and Jeanette tonight, who are working to provide meals for Hearty Meals for All. Thank you for letting us into the kitchen to see the work that happens here.
Thanks for coming.
So tell us what the meal will be for this evening.
So this is actually our second anniversary barbecue, which is very exciting. So we are going to have hamburgers and sausage, actually goat sausage, which sounds crazy, but I'm told it's amazing. And organic chicken sausage. And all the beef actually comes from New Beginnings Farm out in Western Mass, which is a fantastic sort of family-owned farm, all grass-fed beef, organically raised meats. Then we're going to have black bean burgers for the vegetarians. We're going to have a healthy pasta salad, a green salad, and all the vegetables are actually donated from Food for Free. And then we're going to make a birthday cake, so chocolate and vanilla cake with ice cream.
Sounds like a great menu for a nice summer evening, so let's see how the work starts off.
Great. So we have sort of two sections. The chopping of the vegetables and whatnot is out there with Jeanette, who's a solo show tonight. Unfortunately, we have a lot of folks on vacation. Then in here, Richard and I are going to make the cakes. So just throwing the ingredients together in the hot kitchen. And then we're gonna turn the burger meat into burger patties that we'll grill tomorrow.
Yeah. Just the meals tomorrow.
So you have the meal served tomorrow, but you're preparing all of it today.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Let's see how it all works out. So it's interesting to see what goes on and the steps that are required to do it. You, of course, were, very active with that, and you had one of your gentlemen there also helping you at that time. So it seems, that there's a lot of feeling and need for this sort of work as well. You know what I mean? It's not something you can kind of go into and just say, here, I'm just addressing this, in kind of a linear way. I mean, you clearly have developed relationships with the people involved, and as you said, to have that same number of guests returning each time, it speaks volumes. I mean, like you said, it's the idea of having access to really good food, high quality preparation by someone, such as yourself, and it really is just a nice sense of having that, fostering a sense of community, I think, within a larger community.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been our goal, and we have a blast every meal night. We have a great time too. So I think it's sort of the idea that the volunteers, the guests, everyone really just eats together and has a good time together.
And we've had some incredible relationships formed, and some of the guests have now become volunteers.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so they're really interested in the food and where it comes from, and want to be a part of it as well. And so we have this nice crossover too. So everyone really gets along, and everyone's really excited to be involved, and we always put out a great meal, get really good feedback, and so it's become a really nice, program, and a lot of the people that are coming to the meal are going out to other meal programs and either, other communities as well, and bringing people back. So there's word getting out there that this has become a really nice place to come, and everyone really enjoys it. It's great camaraderie and really good food. And, the quality of the food really means a lot to people. So, that's been great feedback too, that just because someone needs to take advantage of a community service doesn't mean they don't care about what they eat or what they feed their family.
Oh,
so that's
definitely.
been really nice, that they've been very interested, involved, and appreciative of what we're doing. So, we do put a lot of effort into getting a healthy meal on the table for them, and to know that they really appreciate that makes it that much more worth it.
As Rebecca had mentioned earlier, the partnerships with local businesses and farms. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's been amazing for us, because we've now, been exposed to all these resources locally, and these great local farms in Massachusetts that, whether it's produce or beef, lamb, pork, they provide us these incredible products that you can't even get in the grocery store, and it's literally like farm to table. And that's something that I personally really have an appreciation for, and have just been amazed at some of the products that we've gotten. We've gotten incredible locally raised beef, and to be able to prepare an entire meal that came from one cow is just pretty incredible. Most people, when they buy a package of ground beef at the grocery store, have no idea where that comes from.
Right.
We know exactly where it comes from, and that's a real treat. And it's nice to be able to come up with healthy dishes, and to utilize these products in a way that we're really showcasing them themselves. We do simple meals because we want the products and the food to speak for itself, but at the same time it's healthy, it's interesting, So we have a lot of fun coming up with the meal ideas.
Well, that's good. And I know you said being based out of a church. However, the organization does not have a religious affiliation. So in terms of who can access your services?
Yep, so the meal is open to absolutely anybody who wants to come in. We don't ask any questions, there's no income requirements, and we have a really diverse group of folks, volunteers as well as guests. We have some older folks who are really great, we have some families who come in, some folks who are just part of the community and just really like the idea of a good community meal. So really we welcome anyone who's interested in coming to check us out to come by.
Excellent. And you said you now have an intern to help with outreach efforts. So how are you hoping to kind of highlight it more? I mean, clearly being on the show will help to highlight it, but I know you had an article, you were featured in the newspaper at one point, which was a really nice article, and I'm certain helped to spread the word in the community as well.
Yep, so I think just doing more of that, connecting more to local businesses, getting in the press as much as we can. We also have a fundraiser coming up sometime in September, October.
Okay.
So we're hoping that will be somewhere in Somerville, we hope. So that should hopefully help increase visibility a little bit. So just things like that, flyering, that sort of thing.
Excellent. I think it's important how you had touched upon as well, Yvette, the idea that, because you're using these services doesn't mean that you should have, food that isn't of good quality and food that, you don't want to eat. I mean, food is a basic need. We all understand that. But that doesn't mean that you don't deserve the same dignity and respect as someone who goes out and eats in a restaurant to have their food. So, and I'm sure with these tough economic times, that you're seeing or hearing from people, perhaps anecdotally, more of a need for people to take advantage of whatever, resources are available to them. So it's great that something like this exists. And I mean, we were in the space when we filmed the clip, and it's a nice space, it's clean, it's inviting, it's, what I mean? It doesn't have that sense of people are just coming here and kind of not feeling good about it.
Right, exactly. And I just wanted to add that we really make an effort not to use any processed foods. So we're conscious of that, and we always offer a vegetarian option too. And that's been interesting because we've had a lot of people come forward and say, we really appreciate that you offer a vegetarian option because I've actually been vegetarian most of my life. But, at other meal programs, that's just, kind of this is what you get, which is, great that they have that available to them. But they do appreciate what we're doing, and as you said, with the economic times, it's been whole families that come sometimes, anyone, and it's definitely important to be if you're feeding someone that's in their 70s or if you're feeding someone that's in their teens.
All right, very good. We're coming to the end, so we just wanted to make sure we touched upon if you had any specific needs that you're looking for in terms of, do you need donations, do you need volunteers, what would be the best way for people who are in a position to help to get involved?
Yeah, so we always need volunteers. So we prep the meals the second Friday of every month, and we have a prep night the Thursday before, starting around 6 o'clock. And that's just helping to chop vegetables, bake cakes, that sort of thing, like you saw in the clip. So we always need help with that. We always need help Friday nights as well, serving, helping to clean up, getting the meal ready, that sort of thing. Then in terms of donations, we do purchase a good chunk of the food. We get some donations, then we do purchase some. So we can always use monetary donations that will go directly to buy food. We don't pay staff, so there's no real overhead. So it will go directly to the service.
Excellent. Well, as I said, it really is an important resource, and in these times, you really want people to make certain that they're taking advantage of as much options that are available to them as possible. So I think, having someone maybe specifically working on outreach is a great tool for you to have as well. And, interns tend to be young and have a lot of energy, so that's a great way to do it. I did wonder, we are pretty much at the end. I wanted to just, if you could share a quick, maybe your biggest challenge you had during a food night or a funny story that maybe would end us today.
Well, it's always interesting because we literally find out, what the farms have available. We'll have a menu plan, but we may not always be able to stick to it depending on what the farms have. So sometimes, we're presented with a product that, we had no idea we were going to get, which is kind of fun for me as a chef. But we did get these 40-pound turkeys from a farm, and it was such a nice donation, but they were frozen solid, and they were completely, they hadn't been really butchered at all. So that was interesting coming, showing up at the church and having these giant whole frozen turkeys that I could barely even lift up. But it's always fun, and, we have a great time, and, as I said, the camaraderie in the kitchen is fun, so.
Excellent. Well, I know we're going to have your website featured as well, so people are able to go on there, find more information. I assume there's contact if they're looking to
absolutely.
volunteer, donate, all of that stuff. So again, the date that you serve each month?
The second Friday of every month.
Second Friday of every month with the
6:30.
preparation happening the night before. So if anyone's looking to come down, they're more than welcome.
Yep, absolutely.
Excellent.
We'd love to have you.
Excellent. I'd like to thank both of you for coming on the show today and helping to spread the word about the good work that you're doing.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching Somerville Gives Back. We'll see you next time.